Yeah, he's going to bring up inflation, gas prices. Yeah, gas. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see what he says.
In the last year and a half, inflation has risen. The war in Ukraine.
Okay, you're not answering.
No, I just answered your question. Why don't you pay attention and stop interrupting me like you interrupted Eva? I just said I don't have a problem with it. Why don't you pay attention?
All right, I'm gonna get to the callers now. I wonder what he's laughing about here. What's going on?
Bury me with all this money. It's going to be up. There's going to be so much.
Oh, he's laughing at one of his unhinged callers. Detroit Dabbler, thank you very much for the $1.99. Your content is the best. Did you cover Ryan versus Pisco? Actually, I think I am going to cover that after the Bryce Shep stuff. So yeah, thank you very much, Detroit. You know Bryce Shep so well, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I never thought I would ever become a Brian Shapiro expert, but life takes you in crazy directions sometimes, you know? It just does. I feel like one day if there's ever a movie made about me, it's just going to be me sitting here making fun of Brian Shapiro, and it's going to pause and be like, you might be wondering how I got in this situation.
There's going to be so much. I'm taking 10% on the reflecting pool. I'm taking 10% on the World War II because we're doing that one next. We're going to paint the did you know the Lincoln Memorial is a dump? It's a dump. So, and also I'm painting all of the statues around DC in gold. Did you know about that?
I did not.
You're up on that stuff.
No, I did not.
Check the papers. We're going to paint it in gold and then getting 10% of that. I am the greatest mafia boss in the history of mafia bosses. I'm taking a piece of everything.
Oh, this is supposed to be a Trump impression? This is oh, that's right. You know, I think I remember I think in the I remember seeing somewhere Donald and Melania Trump's going to call in to Pushing the Limits. And I was like, "Oh no." So I think that's what this is. That's what this is. This is crazy. This is supposed to be Donald Trump. I didn't even recognize it at first. I thought it was just a crazy old man.
Mr. President, I'm going to be in D.C.
And by the way, and before you say anything about it, this is what they loved in Chicago for years. They loved they love the D.C. bosses.
Yes.
You know, the political bosses. All the liberals and all the Democrats love that. So I don't want to hear any complaints about me getting a piece of these projects.
Well, Mr. President, I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. the weekend of the fight. So maybe we can meet and have
good. I'll make sure I'm out of town.
Fair enough. You sound like Melania Trump. Isn't that what she does with you? I'm sorry. That's
right. I have to be in town for the fight.
You have to be in town for the fight. And Dana White, what celebrities are going to be there? Like, you're going to be inviting Kevin Sorbo and Dean Cain.
We're going to bring in some of the biggest stars in Hollywood. All right. We've got Scott Baio, big movie guy. You mentioned Kevin Sorbo.
Scott Baio. I used to have his posters on my wall from the Teeny Bopper magazines. What a loser, though, right?
He makes a movie every other week. It's like. And then the kid from L.A., he's going to be there. Spencer Pratt, he's going to be there. He's a big draw. John Voight's going to be wheeled in a wheelchair.
I don't know who Spencer Pratt is.
We've got all.
I know who John Voight is.
All the MAGA actors, and now I'm hearing about this guy named Homelander. Have you heard of this Homelander? Who's this Homelander?
I have.
I've been told. People are saying me and him are very similar, so I'd like to meet him. I think he'd be perfect. But we've got some other great MAGA actors. The guy with the really...
Yeah, it'll be great if they have Homelander there, you know, because I know they called me Homolander. So to have Homelander and Homolander, me, side by side for the first time ever, I think that would be awesome.
The blonde hair and the blue eyes, he'll be there. You know, anybody who's complaining that they can't get work because they're MAGA, I'm going to have them there. We're going to make our own movies.
The guy with the blonde hair and the blue eyes. I can't.
You know him, right?
Yeah, I think I do.
He's great.
He's
fantastic.
So the Pentagon,
I like him a lot.
Mr. President, I'm so glad you're on the line right now because we have some breaking news, and I want to get your comments.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Let me look at my phone.
The Pentagon has just said that they're recruiting hundreds of troops to appear as spectators at this UFC fight. Is that what you think our troops should be doing? Because that's breaking news. Apparently, that's what they're trying to do.
What?
Absolutely. I've settled 15 wars. These guys have nothing to do. And they should.
That's what they should be doing. Well, what should they be doing, Brian? What should they be doing? What's wrong with them going to see the UFC event?
Come to a UFC fight. All they have to do is fly themselves in.
Yeah, they're paying their own flights.
Up, feed themselves.
Actually, that's not a joke.
Put themselves up at the hotel, and we give them free $15 tickets. I mean, that's a deal of a lifetime.
Mr. President, this actually isn't a joke, what you just said. We're learning that they actually do have to pay their own way.
Yes, they have to pay their own way. Look, what am I? Daddy Warbucks? I just can't give all these guys free trips, tickets, and everything else.
They actually really have to do that. That's actually not a joke. That's okay. Well, you think that's proper to have our troops who are fighting for this country?
Well, who are they getting paid by, Brian? Who are the troops being paid by?
To be paying their own way to watch a UFC fight and a spectacle in front of the White House. You're not afraid of an assassination attempt, Mr. President?
All right. I'll throw in a free Coca-Cola or Pepsi, who's ever backing us on this, or RC Cola, whoever we got. They get a free drink and a bottle of popcorn, but they have to clean up after themselves.
All right, that's fair. Make sure they clean up afterwards. Well, Mr. President, I do always appreciate your time. We know how busy you are. I didn't know that the First Lady was going to call in. I didn't want to get you guys into an argument. I'm sorry.
That was very nice. That's the most I've talked to her in about 4 years.
Well, I'm glad I could make that happen, Mr. President. Is there anything else you want?
You're like Chuck Woolery on the Left Connection. You brought us together for 2 and 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
I'm glad I was able to make that happen.
And I get that reference, by the way, because I'm old.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners before you put our friend John DiDomenico on the line? Is there anything else you'd like to
absolutely. Share? I just want to say that everything's going great. And when you go to put your gas, don't believe your lying eyes, okay? It is far less than you think it is. All right, I'll put John on.
Put John on the phone. Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it.
Hello, Brian.
John DiDomenico, the very funny and talented John DiDomenico on the line. John, Donald Trump is the gift that keeps on giving, and you're the talent that keeps on giving. You're the talent.
Sometimes 5 times a day.
I should have called in. It's like, well, Brian Shapiro on the phone, and it's me. Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. How many times do you have to put on all the makeup and stuff, like on a monthly basis? How many times do you have to do that?
You know, literally, you know this because we talked before, but at one point I was putting it on every single day. But I've been very busy with my hosting and speaking, and so it's down to like once a week.
Once a week. How many hours again does it take you to put that stuff on?
Catching strays over here because I got that reference. Well, listen, I got that reference too, so there you go.
It takes about a full hour.
Oh, jeez. Oh, geez. Well, I feel for you there, but like I said, Trump is the gift that keeps on giving, and nobody would know that better than you. That's for sure.
Yes, and yes. My latest video on Instagram.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, wait, is the Trump impression just his voice? That's just how he sounds. That'd be like over here, like, this is my Brian Shapiro impression. Aha, yeah, mega mushroom gobblers, right? All right, actually, I'm Cool Vic, by the way. So yeah, I like doing the Brian Shapiro impression. Like, that would be insane.
The Trump impersonator has broken 162,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, John, as I say every single time, you are one of the best in the business, the best Trump impersonator, one of the best impersonators and comedians that I know.
Wow. You must not know a lot of comedians.
Keep up the phenomenal work, my friend. I love you, pal. And we will definitely catch up with you soon. Keep up your great work and give out those socials before we let you go.
So everything is The Johnny D Show. My YouTube is The Johnny D Show 1. And the Instagram, the new Instagram, which is...
I think Brian's even smiling because he's like, wait, is he doing an impression right now? Or is he just giving out his socials?
All Trump is Trump Impersonator, and you'll see my name there, and you'll know it's fine.
My listeners love you, John. You're the best, and we always need laughs.
Thanks, Brian. Love you too.
Love you, John. Take care, my friend. Have a great weekend.
All right.
See
ya. Bye.
The best. John DiDomenico, the best. Oh, he's so funny. He's so talented.
Well, if I ever see John D. Domenico headlining some kind of comedy store, the comedy stand-up place, I know I'm not going to see that. So he has back on that trans person that he had last time, so yeah, he's back.
That someone on their end or their philosophy, ideology can't commit things like this, and they do. Majority of people in the trans community are gentle people. Being a member of that community, we enjoy and we love everybody. We say, love who you love, be who you are, and respect everyone. If we got that in return, the world would be a better place. And that's one reason why I am running for state assembly, because we need to have a trans presence in the state assembly.
No, we don't.
But also, I bring other things to the table other than that.
Of course. I'm just really sick and tired of the hatred that seems to be coming from one side of the aisle. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what your take is on this, but we have this content and creative director for the Democrats. Her name is Paulina Mangabat. And she goes on social media and she calls Stephen Miller an ugly F word. And the reason why I laughed at it, and the reason why she even tweeted that out, is because Stephen Miller was going after Tellerico, calling him a trans person. First of all, how disrespectful to trans people to use it as a slur. Kind of.
Here we go again. Moral grandstanding Brian Shapiro here.
Like how someone would use a homophobic slur and it's offensive to gay people.
Yeah, like mushroom gobbler.
Calling Tellerico a trans person, which number one isn't true, and number two, talk about it like a 8-year-old insult. So this woman went on the Democrat social media and called him an ugly F. Now, I do believe it was appropriate. Now, if you
okay, so now that's appropriate. That's highbrow insults there. An ugly, I guess, is what she said. That's highbrow for Brian.
You do that out of the blue, I would say, no, you probably shouldn't do that. But she's reacting to the horrible, ugly comments that Stephen Miller made. Do you have a problem with that?
So now he has to reframe it to like, wow, she's talking about the horrible comments that he's made. That's what's ugly. It's like, no, Brian, she's probably talking about his looks. Brandon, let's go, Brandon, for the $10. Can anyone buy an hour on the radio? Yeah, I think so. I think Brian here is evidence that anyone could just buy some radio time and have a radio show. Thank you very much, Brandon. And we have one more to go to complete that super chat goal. Brian is obsessed with having grandmas on his show. Yeah, I know, right? Well, they send you home with snacks after. Didn't you know that?
No, I say that if you think you're big and bad enough to dish it out, you better be big and bad enough to take it. And if you can't take it, then you shouldn't be You shouldn't be passing it out. You shouldn't be.
I tend to 100% agree with you on that. And I have made that statement before myself. And I think that Democrats being too nice.
Oh, no.
And I don't know if you would agree with me on this, but Democrats being a little too nice is part of the reason why we got here.
Part of
the reason why Donald Trump got. Now, I wish we were living in different times. I wish we could all get along and, elect the best candidate and all this. But one of the reasons why Donald Trump got into office, and there's many of other reasons, but to me, one of the main reasons why Donald Trump got in office to begin with is Democrats have been too nice and they haven't fought hard enough for us. Now, I'm not.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, the Democrats have just been so nice. Too nice. Just pushovers, pretty much, the Democrats. Yeah, it's so wild whenever. It's not the first time I've heard a liberal say that. The Democrats are too nice. It's like, you guys are just too much. Like, how can you say that honestly with a straight face that, yes, it's actually because the Democrats are just too nice? Like, how could you say that with a straight face? The only other thing the Democrats could actually do is try to unalive the guy, which, oh, by the way, they've tried that. So, I mean, I don't know what else to do, but yeah, that's it, Brian. They're too nice.
Saying that fighting is just calling people names. Okay. But what I am saying is sometimes you have to match fire with fire. And I'm happy that she went on social media and did that. I'm also
when they try to when they impeached him twice, when they try to send him to prison, when they try to kill him, that was the Democrats being nice, that now it's time for them to play hardball. I don't know what's harder than trying to unalive someone. I don't know, but apparently you have to go harder.
Happy that she doubled down on it when she was interviewed earlier today. And I hope we get more Democrats to understand and realize that they need to learn from their mistakes, and that we need to do when I say we, I mean the left. I'm not a Democrat, but I certainly lean to the left on social issues, and I do not want a MAGA Republican to be back in office. Democrats need to learn from their mistakes, and they need to do a.
So even then, he'll be like, well, I do lean to the left. That's the most we've been able to get from him, is like, I lean to the left, lean left. Lean left. It's like, no, man, you're not leaning left. You're a lefty. You're all the way to the left.
Better job at reaching out to younger voters. They have not done a good job of that. We need better candidates, and we need fighters. And I don't know what you made of Dr. Jill Biden. I guess she's trying to sell another book. And she, in an interview, said that she thought her husband had a stroke. I don't know if you saw this story during the debate. First of all, I don't even know why she would say that, even if it was.
That's funny, Tyler. Well, I mean, they're so nice they earn Nick Fuente's vote. Yeah, I know, right? That's a good point.
It's true. Why would you wait till now to say that? Because it makes you look bad. And number two, why are you still talking about the debate? Why are you even bringing that up? It's not helping your party. It's not helping the country. I was very disappointed in her. And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to listen. I think Joe Biden and his wife are decent human beings. I don't think they're bad people, but I think they've made a lot of mistakes. And I think a big mistake that Joe Biden made was, of course, not stepping down sooner. It didn't give Kamala or the Democrats enough time to campaign. Mm-hmm. And now she's talking about how she thought her husband had a stroke. Well, where were you? Where were you? And I don't know. I'm just really disappointed with the Jake Tappers of the world. Dr. Jill Biden, who I do have a lot of respect for. I don't know. I'm just, what are your thoughts on that? I was very disappointed in that.
Well, that time has passed. We are now in 2026, and our primary election is on June 9th with early voting going on.
I like they're showing Brian fumbling with his headphones, right? Dude, even live in the studio, he always has sound issues, some kind of technical issue. It's really bad when he's by himself, like at his house. But come on, like, doesn't he have people there helping him in the studio? Or does all the money just go to renting the airtime?
And with my platform of very progressive platform that can help the people of Nevada, I'm thinking about what can we do now in 2026 to get Joe Lombardo out of office and get good progressive assembly folks like myself to really help the people of Nevada with the right bills and policies and address the issues of Nevada. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say at the federal level, but we can mitigate that by doing more positive things at the state level. And I agree.
I think that, and we'll open up phone calls at 702-221-SAVE, 702-221-7283. And again, the number to call if you want to be
responsible people in state.
Yeah. Just guy prattle. Let me just move up a little bit.
And I'm really thankful that my dad did the job that he did and taught me the way he did, because it must be miserable to be the kind of person that's got to hate on other people because you can't control what they're doing.
Yeah. Very well said.
And I'm so glad that my dad taught me.
Well, it sounds like your dad was a wonderful man and a hero, my dear. And I appreciate you listening to this program and calling in. And you're welcome to call back anytime. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If Antifa is the hate group that the right claims it is, then you need to know how they're organized, how they are funded, who the leaders are, where are their headquarters. They can't answer any of those questions.
Okay, so he just does say that. He says that word weird. I'm not quarters. He says quarters. I forgot what we're watching yesterday, but he said it the exact same way yesterday. I thought he just, sometimes you say weird, like you say words weird, like when you're speaking, like just, once in a while you'll mispronounce a word or something. You'll just say kind of odd. But it doesn't mean you say it all the time like that. It's just kind of a one-off. So that's what I thought when Brian said that. I just like, oh, okay, that was just kind of a mistake. But no, he says quarters, headquarters. You got any headquarters? Quarters. Those are some deep quarters.
And it's not a group, let alone a hate group. And by the way, Antifa means anti-fascist. Then I guess you can call me Antifa because I'm anti-fascist. I would assume you are as well, right?
Oh, Brian's a terrorist. He's Antifa.
Definitely.
Yeah. Are we part of the hate?
To Antifa.
Hate group? Are we getting funded by anybody? George Soros? No, we're not.
No.
It's insane. These people are so insane. It's so stupid. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. And that number again, if you want to be a part of the program, is 702-221-SAVE. All right, let's go to Chris. Chris is calling out of PA. What's up, Chris?
Hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Hey, how's it going, Brian? Hey, Eva, how you doing?
Hi, Chris.
Hi. So I have three things that I want to address here, then I digress. So first off, the January 6th guest that you had on, Pam, if I remember correctly, I got to say,
is this you, Adam?
this. I will give her all the credit in the world for her taking responsibility for what happened, for her part of what happened that day, and I give her all mad props about that. Totally fantastic. So absolutely. And Eva, I wish you the very best of luck in your campaign. And even though I live in Pennsylvania, I back you 100%. So absolutely.
Yeah,
and
that's nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Just say this real quickly. The New Year.
Her freaking glasses frames reminds me of like egg dippers for Easter. I'm going to skip ahead there.
That's pretty rich coming from people who support and protect a man who would no respect or class if there was an anvil hitting him in the face.
Oh my
Administration
gosh.
is going after her is because she's owed a lot of money from Donald Trump. It's the only reason. She hasn't broken any laws. She hasn't done anything wrong. No charges have been filed.
Yeah,
they're just trying to put pressure on her so this story will go away and Donald Trump doesn't have to fork up like $90 million. But I don't think it's going to work. This is what the Trump administration does. This is what they do. They go after people not because they broke the law. They go after people because they're opponents to Donald Trump. And yes, one of Donald Trump's opponents is somebody who was found liable for abusing her, E. Jean Carroll, and he should have to pay every single dollar. That's what they're trying to do.
Okay, so because I'm a pretty open guy in my outlook on things, I try to keep an open mind. What if there is evidence that she did lie? I'm not saying she did. Let's just say, for argument's sake, she did. They did find evidence. She fabricated it all. Would you change your stance on that one thing with Trump?
The only way that they could prove that would be in a court of law. So, I mean, that's such a hypothetical.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And that's not going to happen, number one. And by the way, there was already...
He didn't answer the hypothetical.
A liable case in this matter. The jury heard it out, and they found that her testimony and everything involving the case was credible enough to award her a large sum of money. So that's not going to happen. If there was any evidence of that, Donald Trump's attorneys had the right to show it in a court. They didn't do it. So, which leads me to believe this is only trying to silence her. This is only trying to discredit her. I mean, so, it's a bizarre hypothetical. It'd almost be like me saying, what if somebody said the earth is flat? Does that mean the earth is flat? I mean, that's not going to happen. This is intimidation. This is what the Trump family has done for decades and decades and decades, is use the court system to try to intimidate people. And this will be withdrawn. I promise you this will be withdrawn.
I have one last question. How do you feel about James Tellerico saying there's 6 genders?
I could care less. Why do you care?
What I'm saying, I didn't say it all at once. I'm sorry. I mean, like, towards his voters that are Christians in Texas, you think that might sway them to the other side because he's
Well, first of all,
a little offensive in their belief.
if somebody votes against somebody for that statement, then I think they're a complete idiot. That's how I feel about those people. If you're somebody that would rather vote for a guy who's cheated on his wife, God knows how many times, who is a criminal, whose own party outed him because of he's a thief, and you would vote for him over somebody because you don't like the binary comment he made about God, then you are an idiot.
Well, it wasn't just the binary thing. He did say there were 6 genders.
Who cares?
Like,
Who cares?
Genders.
Who cares?
Who cares? Why does that bother you? Who
I
cares?
think a lot of people would care if.
Well, I think a lot of people. Well, I think a lot of people are bigots, and I think they're a bunch of morons. Who cares? Who cares if somebody thinks that? Who cares?
Their belief. So
I would have asked Brian. It's like, oh, okay. So what if there is a politician running for president who said that they believe the Earth is flat? Brian, would you vote for him or no? And if he says no, I'd be like, well, who cares, Brian? Who cares? Who cares if he thinks the Earth is flat? Why does that bother you? Why does that bother you? Thank you very much, JJ Matt, for the 10. Jury under his peers. God, what a weasel. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, JJ Matt. And thank you guys very much for helping me complete that super chat goal. We have tested it. We have tried it. And it works. So now you guys get an autographed Bryce Shap hat.
Super chat. Seriously, you guys keep this show rolling. I promised I'd sign a Newsboy cap for the giveaway, so here we go. Boom. There it is. An autographed Newsboy cap just for you. Thanks again, everybody. Go next.
So there you go. Thank you guys very much. Keep on the lookout in the mail for that.
So their belief in their religion or whatever it is wrong because James Tallarico says so?
James Tallarico is not saying that. See, here's where I'm having a real.
Hold
on. Let me just. I didn't interrupt you. Let me just finish my answer.
Sorry.
That's okay. There are a lot of people out there that believe in what they believe in. James Tallarico is not telling you, Alex, that you must believe in what James Tallarico believes when it comes to his God. That's not what he has ever said. Okay? You have the right to believe in what you want. You have the right to believe in whatever religion you want to believe in. But if you would rather vote for a guy who says the right things about God, but on the other hand, his behavior proves otherwise. Last I checked, James Tallarico's never been accused of cheating on anyone. James Tallarico's never been accused of stealing money from people. James Tallarico never got a guy.
So just accusations are enough, Brian? Just accusations are enough? Because that's all he brought up. He's never been accused of this, never been accused of that. Okay, so accusations are enough, Brian? Oh, okay. Well, how come a guy who's been accused of ripping women off for money is a radio show host?
Off out of jail free card for molesting a child. That's what Ken Paxton did. So if these issues are more important to you about statements that James Tallarico made about his God and his beliefs, and it's so offensive to you that you would rather vote for a guy named Ken Paxton, then you are an imbecile, in my opinion. You're an imbecile. I can't be more clear than I am. Okay, he's not saying you need to think in what he thinks. He's not saying you need to believe in the God that he believes in. That's his belief. But he's never broken any of the 10 commandments. He's never tried to or succeeded in getting a child molester out of jail free card.
He's never broken any of the 10 commandments? Huh? I'm like, Brian, can you list the 10 commandments? First of all, and second of all, how do you, that's just a wild thing to say. He's never never been found guilty in a court of law of breaking the 10 commandments. It's like, how do you prove that? Like, some of them you could prove, but I mean, isn't like thou shalt not lie, right? Like thou obey thy father and mother. How do you know he's always obeyed his father and mother? Like, how these are things that you can't prove. Love thy neighbor. These are things that you can't prove, Brian. He's never broken the 10 commandments. Yeah, how would Brian know? Eric Goss for the $5. Brian hates you and thinks you're the worst person in the world and you deserve everything bad. Now vote for his side, you bigots. Yeah, that's what they all do. But thank you very much. I like to ask Brian to name all 10 commandments without looking them up. Yeah, exactly. Isn't that a good thing he didn't break the 10 commandments?
That's what Ken Paxton has done. I would say, aren't those issues a little bit more important to you than somebody who makes a one-off statement?
Yeah, that's a good point, Worsenator. Yeah, worshiping false idols. Yeah, what about that, Brian? I don't think he worships false idols. I think he actually likes the real Billy Idol. I don't think he's ever seen an impersonator at all. So I don't even know what you're talking about. He's definitely never broken that commandment.
Talking about 6 genders. Isn't that more important to you? Because if it's not, then chances are you're probably a Donald Trump supporter. If it's not, then chances are you probably have a very low IQ and you're an imbecile.
Well, I am a Trump supporter, but I have a very high IQ.
Okay, well, you don't sound like you do, sir. You don't.
I don't agree with everything.
Alex,
I don't agree with everything Trump does.
Alex, let's stop talking about Donald Trump for one moment, Alex, okay? Would you not vote for Tallarico and you'd rather vote for a guy named Ken Paxton, who is a liar, a thief, and a criminal? Because Tallarico said some things.
I just wanted your opinion.
And I want your opinion.
Whether or not it would.
Alex, I understand, but I want your opinion now.
Voters the other way, though.
Okay, I'm not going to speak for all voters. If those people do go the other way because of that statement, then they're idiots. I'm asking you now personally. If you lived in Texas and you had the opportunity to vote between Tallarico and Ken Paxton, a guy who's cheated on his wife, a guy who has stolen money and who is a criminal, and his own party outed him, you're telling me you'd rather vote for Ken Paxton because a comment Tallarico made about different genders? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I mean,
yeah, I know, right? It's always amazing when Brian doesn't want to talk about Trump. Like it always amazes me. I remember even when I called in and I brought up Trump, and he was like, "No, let's not talk about Trump. Let's talk about what you brought up." And I was like, "Huh? Wait, what? You don't want to talk about Trump? That's crazy. He always wants to talk about Trump."
The way I look at Tallarico at the moment is that he started his campaign saying it was a vegan campaign, and
Tallarico is not a vegan. Tallarico is not a vegan. That's fake news. Tallarico is not a vegan. That's so you're telling me. So you're telling me. Okay, so Alex. So you're telling me you don't want. Okay, so you're telling me you don't like contradictions. Is that what you're telling me? You voted for Donald Trump, a guy.
I don't like that.
No. Let's go back. Alex, stop. You just said you don't like contradictions. You just said you're a Trump supporter. Back in 2015, he campaigned on 2 things. We're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. He built 6% of the wall. Mexico didn't pay $1 for it. I'm going to hire a special prosecutor to go after Hillary Clinton. This go around, you voted for him again, didn't you? When he said he was.
He's so mad. But by the way, who cares? Like, what? Like, why is he defending? No, he's not. He's not a vegan. He's not a vegan. Like, well, what's the big deal if he was, Brian? Like, what would that matter if he was vegan or not? Like, why is it something you have to defend? Like, everything he has to defend, it doesn't matter.
Was going to end the war in 24 hours. Wait a second. You wait a second, Mr. Hypocrite. You voted for the guy who said he was going to end the war in 24 hours. You voted for the guy who said he was going to lower prices on day 1. You voted for the guy who said he would be a peace president. And you think we should give a crap about what you say about Tallarico saying he was going to be a vegan? Are you effing kidding me? You are a hypocrite. You supported Donald Trump. Don't you lecture us about, oh, well, you contradicted. You voted for Donald Trump. The guy contradicts himself every day. Every day he contradicts himself. Don't you lecture me about that. You're telling me you'd rather vote for Ken Paxton, a guy who has cheated, who has lied, his own party outed him, a criminal. But you want to lecture us about Tallarico? Oh, well, he said there are 6 different genders. Give me a freaking break. You sound like a moron, sir. You sound like a moron. Quite frankly, I'm not surprised you voted for Donald Trump.
Okay, well, I'm a moron.
Yes, you are.
I'm the king of hypocrites.
How am I a hypocrite? Give me an example right now of how I'm a hypocrite.
How about this?
Yeah, no. How about this? You just called me a hypocrite.
About Charlie Kirk. You said Charlie Kirk was a cricket pizza. You are a
crooked. Wait, how am I a hypocrite? Give me an example. I didn't like Charlie Kirk.
Why did you say Charlie Kirk was a crooked pizza? Sorry, I couldn't hear. It's like you said Charlie Kirk was a crooked pizza.
A hypocrite.
Crap about Charlie Kirk. You said Charlie Kirk was a cricket pizza. You are a
crooked. Wait, how am I a hypocrite? Give me an example. I didn't like Charlie Kirk.
A cricket. Oh, a cricket. That's what I heard. Yeah, crooked pizza. Yeah, you're all a bunch of crooked pizzas. Mega mushroom gobblers, crooked pizzas, especially Charlie Kirk.
Is wrong. Pot him down. Do you understand what a hypocrite is? What I've said from the beginning is what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrible. I didn't condone the violence. I've also said Charlie Kirk, I believe, was a bad guy. So please explain to me how I'm a hypocrite. Please give me an example. That's not a good example. How am I a hypocrite?
I'll give you the example if you let me speak. And
Please. I'll do whatever the hell I want, you moron.
You sit here and get mad at anyone that talks about George Floyd or celebrates.
No, wrong. You can say what you want about George Floyd. I don't have a problem with that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
What I do have a problem with is people that say he wasn't. Do you not understand the difference? Never have on this show have I said George Floyd was a saint. Never have I said George Floyd was a great guy. George Floyd did some very bad things in his life. See, you're obviously not smart enough to understand my point. The point I'm trying to make is that doesn't mean he deserved to be murdered. Same thing with Charlie Kirk. Wait, will you be quiet and let me finish, you buffoon? I never said that Charlie. Shut up. That's why I mute you, because you don't shut up and you don't listen. What I've said about George Floyd is very similar to what I've said about Charlie Kirk. Get the MAGA wax out of your ears and pay attention. Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be murdered. As I've said from the second it happened, it's horrible. I wish it didn't happen. I didn't like Charlie Kirk, the human being, but here's the difference between you and me, you ignorant MAGA buffoon you. I want Tyler Robinson to go to jail. You be quiet. I want Tyler Robinson to go to jail for the rest of his life for what he did. Derek Chauvin is a convicted murderer. I also want him to rot in prison. The difference between me and you is I'm the one who calls out people who do bad things to other people. In this case, Tyler Robinson, in my opinion, is a murderer. Shut up, you idiot.
God, look how mad he is. Man, he doesn't let anybody talk. But you know, like, so he'll say here, like, just notice this, right? Like, notice how, like, talking like between Derek Chauvin and Tyler Robinson, he'll be like, I think Tyler Robinson should go to prison for the rest of his life, right? But then with Derek Chauvin, he'll be like, I think he deserves a rotten jail. Like, you notice how he says it much more harsher whenever it's the person he really doesn't like. With Tyler Robinson, he'll be like, yeah, he should go to jail, definitely, life sentence. But with Derek Chauvin, it's like, he's a piece of shit and he deserves a rotten jail, which in itself shows that he has a bias there, because you won't ever hear him say Tyler Robinson's a piece of crap who deserves a rotten for what he did to Charlie. Like, you'll never hear him say that. You know, he'll be like, yeah, he should go to prison. I agree. But with Derek Chauvin, yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Tyler Robinson is a murderer. So is Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin is a convicted murderer. How am I a hypocrite? I'm going to give you one opportunity and one more opportunity only to explain to me how I'm a hypocrite. Go, you MAGA mushroom gobbling buffoon. Go.
Easy.
Well, pot him down. Well, did you say well when he went into the voting booth and he voted for that 34 count felon? Did you say well then? Did you say well when he was found liable of sexual assault against E. Jean Carroll? Did you say well when he supported a man who went backstage in the teenage girls' locker rooms and then bragged about it on the Howard Stern show? Did you say well then?
Easy, because you don't condemn the Socialist Democratic Party for their rhetoric and lies.
I don't condemn this. Okay, so give me a word that was used by the quote-unquote Socialist Democrat Party. Give me a specific example of an elected official on the left that made a statement that you think contributed to Charlie Kirk's death. Go ahead, sir.
Every one of them.
No, not every one of them. I need you to be specific. You just said the entire party. Give me a specific example of somebody on the left, which would be an elected official, that you think said something that helped lead to the murder of Charlie Kirk. I'm going to ask you one more time only. Be specific. Go ahead. Be specific. Go ahead.
All right, Brian. Do not mute me, Brian.
Then answer my question, dummy. Then answer. No, you're not making a point. You're answering my question. Pot him down. Pot him down again. Pat him down. By the way, Donald Trump called Kamala Harris a fascist on the campaign trail. Okay. So if you're going to say that Democrats, name me an elected official, give me the exact quote. Don't say every Democrat, because that's absurd and it's not true. I'm going to ask you one more time. You made a claim that you think the Democrat Party are the reason behind Charlie Kirk being. I've now asked you 5 times and you haven't been specific. And by the way, if you have a problem with people calling people fascists, then maybe you should have a problem with Donald Trump calling Kamala Harris a fascist on the campaign trail. You're obviously stupid and you're unaware of that. I'm going to ask you one more time. Be specific and give me an example of somebody on the left that's an elected official that said something that you think contributed to Charlie Kirk's death. I've now asked you 6 times. Go ahead, sir. And don't generalize or the conversation is over.
I'm not going to. Kamala Harris said it in a news
What did she say?
interview.
What did she say?
They asked her, hold on. They asked her, do you think that Donald Trump and his supporters are fascists and Nazis? She said yes.
She never said everybody that supports Donald Trump.
You don't think
She
that,
never said
What? That's literally saying, yeah, all of them. Do you think Donald Trump and his supporters are fascists? Yes. Yeah, that's pretty clear cut.
quiet, and now it's time for me to educate the stupid MAGA supporter.
How's it going?
She never said in an interview that everybody who supports Donald Trump is a fascist. You're a liar. Number 2, Donald Trump multiple times on the campaign trail literally called Kamala a fascist. So you're lying and you're wrong. So I'll give you one more opportunity, sir, because you're really making your...
I'll give you one more opportunity. He just says his talking point and then like, okay, so you're wrong about that. Now give me another example. And it's like, well, no, you didn't really debunk the Kamala example. Like,
sound like the idiot MAGA supporter that you are. By the way, Tyler Robinson is responsible, in my opinion, for the murder of Charlie Kirk. But you'll never, I'll give you a perfect example. Is Donald Trump have any responsibility? If Donald Trump doesn't say the election was stolen and rigged, does January 6th happen? Yes or no?
Okay. Adam's laughing. Why are you laughing? I wonder if he says that.
You think it's funny? Hey, dumbass, pay attention. Okay, pay attention. Okay.
With your Tucker Carlson laugh.
It's a question that I'm asking you.
Yeah. So, okay. So Donald Trump is the reason why people got arrested for January 6th and why that happened. Him saying that the election was stolen. So Trump's to blame for that. That's his fault for saying the election was stolen. But Democrats calling Republicans fascists and Nazis, Joe Biden calling MAGA Republicans extremists, that has no effect at all. That has no effect whatsoever.
Pay attention. If Donald Trump didn't lie and say the 2020 election was stolen, does January 6th happen? Yes or no? Answer the question, yes or no.
Well, it was stolen. And
okay, well, then you're an idiot. Have a nice day. You're not worth 10 seconds of my time. You have a pea brain and you're an imbecile. By the way, notice how he couldn't give any examples of why he thinks the Democrat Party was responsible for Charlie Kirk's.
He did
then he
give
mentions
one.
The term fascist. When Donald Trump called Kamala Harris fascist multiple times on the campaign trail, should we be surprised that this same idiot thinks the 2020 election was stolen? This guy is dumber than a doornail. Dumber than a doornail. These are the people that we're up against right now. These are the dummies that live in America, Eva. I don't know what your thoughts are on that phone call, but that was something pretty special.
Well, I think that as with many of the MAGA followers, they're making up issues that are old and dead in the water that we should learn from and not repeat them. What we should be looking at, how can we work together to make things better here in 2026 with an upcoming election?
Well, that's the problem. There are too many people out there where you just can't make things better with people that jump over Kamala Harris.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Oh, really? You'd vote for Kamala?
I wouldn't vote. I told it.
You wouldn't vote?
I wouldn't vote for either one.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, by the way, good job, Adam. But I was going to say, there's another caller he gets mad at that I wanted to watch. Like, he goes off. I think he goes off on this caller worse than he did you.
Haven't you?
Like, he's like screaming.
These are a joke.
Okay, yeah. Well, guess what? Kamala would. Guess what? You have not seen the light. Kamala would not have gotten us into a war in Iran. Kamala would not have done these tariffs.
Thing again?
No. See, you just don't want to listen to facts because you don't want to vote for the black woman. I understand.
Right. A lot of I could like what you said.
What black woman ran for president? It wasn't Kamala. Kamala's not a black woman.
Yeah, but it's just the same thing over and over.
You haven't seen the light. You said
the light is you shouldn't vote for either party.
Okay, well, I think that's idiotic. There's one party.
Vote for a party that's at 30% over another.
I don't care about a poll. What I care about right now, we're talking about Kamala Harris and the Democrats. And I'm telling you that while Kamala is not perfect and she wasn't my first, second, or third choice, Kamala and the Democrat Party would not have done these tariffs that are terrorizing the American people. Kamala would not have got us into a war in Iran. They tried to do that. Benjamin Netanyahu tried to coax Barack Obama to do it. He tried to coax Joe Biden to do it. He would have tried to have coaxed Kamala Harris to do it. We wouldn't be in a war right now. We wouldn't have these tariffs. We wouldn't have had a raise in inflation, which is the worst it's been in 3 years. Our gas prices wouldn't be over $4 a gallon if Kamala was president. But because you don't want to vote for the black woman, because that's really what it comes down to. I'm sorry. Oh, well, I wouldn't vote for either, but give me a break. There's no comparison between the two. There's no comparison between the two parties right now. And you want to call into the show, and the first thing, well, Brian, I just think it's terrible that they called Stephen Miller ugly. Give me a frickin' break. You voted for the guy who attacked women on looks. You voted for the guy literally every single day that insults people. Where is your credibility, David? Where is it? Help me find it. Do you have it?
What does that mean? Where's my credibility? I'm just a voter like everyone else.
No, you're not. You're not a voter. You wouldn't vote for anybody.
Oh, really? Am I?
You wouldn't vote for anybody.
I did in the past.
Yeah,
well,
and you voted wrong in the
here's
past.
Why? Because
you voted wrong in the past.
I realized that all these candidates are terrible, and then they do.
They're not all.
Like what Trump does.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on, David.
Sort of a joke.
David, hold on. Eva, David just said all the candidates are terrible. I guess he's lumping Trump in with everybody else. What would you say to that?
Of course.
David, I am the polar opposite of Trump or any MAGA Republican or any
that's for sure.
Republican, period.
Yeah.
I'm the type of candidate. I am running to help people. I want affordable housing. I also want to see better.
What does that even mean, affordable housing?
I'm going to tell you what it means,
exactly.
David. It means this.
Yeah. What, a government program? That's what it means? No. We've never tried that before. What are you going to do?
David,
how are you going to make it affordable?
Hang on a minute.
Go ahead.
Here in Nevada, we don't have the proper leadership that can help people to afford a house or an apartment. There has been legislation put forth.
It's been going on for years.
Hang on, David. Hang on. Whoa. Let me tell you something. The last two legislative sessions here in Nevada, there were bills put forth to Governor Lombardo to limit the amount of increase for people that are renting. And he
rent control.
And
That's
he
what you want to do?
Stop, David. Stop. I'm talking about real people. Lombardo vetoed bills that cause people to pay more for rent. And if that's the case, they have less money to buy food and to buy gas. I happen to know.
You want rent control?
I am in darn favor of having rent control until we get the other inflation under control.
See how far that gets you, because we've tried that before.
Oh,
in
yeah.
other parts of
Let's
the country,
see how far.
Terribly bad.
Let's see
Brian,
how
do you
far.
Support rent control?
Let's see how far. Let's see how far it got you, David.
Oh, you're not going to answer that, are you?
I'll answer.
Do you support rent control?
I wouldn't have a problem with that. Wouldn't have a problem.
Okay, sure.
So let's see how far it got us the last year and a half.
All right, let's see. What do you think Bryce Schaap's going to say? Is he going to bring up how the Medicaid's been cut, how inflation's gone up? We can't even afford groceries are still high. People can't even afford to buy eggs. Let's see if we could out Schaap the Schaap here. He's going to definitely, he might bring up the Medicaid. Or he might bring up how inflation's through the roof. We can't even afford gas, or we can't even afford eggs. He's going to bring up inflation, gas prices. Yeah, gas. All right, let's see what he says.
In the last year and a half, inflation has risen. The war in Ukraine.
You're not answering.
Oh, no, I just answered your question. Why don't you pay attention and stop interrupting me like you interrupted Eva? I just said I don't have a problem with it. Why don't you pay attention? Why don't you listen? Will you be quiet? Will you? Well, you want to talk about economically illiterate? You're the idiot who voted for Donald Trump. Pod this idiot down, David. Now I have a problem with you.
Now Brian's going to lay down the law. You're about to get shapped, pal.
You want to talk about the economy? I'm not going to let you interrupt me, you right-wing mushroom gobbling buffoon.
Hey, that's homophobic.
You voted for the guy who got us into an ill-advised war. Because of idiots like you, our gas is $4.60 a gallon.
There's the gas.
Because of idiots like you, the biggest tax breaks for the top 1%. No, Kamala would not have done that. She wouldn't have gotten us into a war. She certainly wouldn't have given the biggest tax breaks to the top 1%. She certainly wouldn't have taken
They wouldn't have given tax breaks at all.
20 million Americans off of Medicaid. It's your fault.
Oh, Medicaid. There's a Medicaid.
And you're so upset that even I agree with rent control. That gets you so upset that people that are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, aren't going to pay too much for rent, so that slumlords all over the country make boatloads of money. But that gets David so upset. But apparently it doesn't get David upset when we get this $1.7 billion slush fund. Let's turn people who beat cops into millionaires. Oh, but that rent, that rent bill that Eva Chase is trying to pass, that gets me so upset. The economy is in shambles in part because of idiots like you who voted for Donald Trump. That is why this country is struggling right now. It's not the Democrat Party, you dope. Where was the economy when Barack Obama left? No, you be quiet.
Notice how he brings up Barack Obama and not Joe Biden. Thank you very much, Kokomo, for being a member for 6 months. Thank you very much, brother. By the way, let's get those super chats up, huh?
You listen. The last president that left us with a surplus was not a Republican. It was a guy by the name of Bill Clinton. Look at where the economy was at when Barack Obama left office. George W. Bush is the one that effed up our economy. It was Barack Obama.
Oh, yeah, George W. Bush, yeah.
Obama that saved us in 8 years. Look at the economy when Barack Obama left office. Look at the economy when Joe Biden left office. Virtually everything was headed in the right direction.
No, it wasn't. It was, in fact, it was heading in the right direction before Trump left office. And then Joe Biden went and fucked it all up. Look how angry he is, though. But that's another left-wing talking point that they always say. So whenever let's say a Democrat's president, if the economy sucks, it's because of the previous president who was Republican. So when Joe Biden, the economy sucked under Joe Biden, well, it's because of all the damage that Trump did when he was in office. When Trump was president and the economy was good, well, that's because he inherited the good economy that Obama left him. When Obama was president and the economy or whatever wasn't good, well, that's because of the mess that George W. Bush left him. See how that goes? It's crazy. It's almost as if with these people, the Democrats are never wrong at all.
But because of people like you, because you didn't want to vote for that black lady. Yeah, David, I know you very well. I know you'll claim it's because of policy. David, we all know why you didn't vote for Kamala, okay? You'd rather vote for the orange man who's a 34-count felon and a liable sexual abuser. David, you're the reason why this country...
Actually, that's a good idea, Adam. I think I will try to call him when Miguel's there.
...country is struggling right now. While Donald Trump is setting up for a UFC fight on the White House lawn, when we're in the middle of a war in Iran, and he's talking about building a ballroom, you're the reason why this country is struggling. So you want to complain about rent control? You think rent control is a big issue? Listen to how angry David gets. Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
I wish
David's
we could
angry.
Control people like you and the way you vote, because you're the reason why we're in this situation.
Spoken
right
like
now.
a true progressive.
Yeah,
there it is.
You're
spoken like a true progressive. I wish you could control
you're spoken like a true racist right-wing buffoon. That's what you are.
Brian saying he wishes he could control people and the way that they vote. Wow, Brian. Saying the quiet part out loud, huh? Isn't that what all the libs want?
I bet you couldn't even pass a civics test. And I bet if the elections were held tomorrow, you're lying. You would vote for Donald Trump again because you voted for him 3 times, didn't you, David? Go ahead and tell me I'm wrong.
Once.
Just when did you vote for him? 2024?
Yes.
And if the elections were held tomorrow, I see how rent control got you so upset.
Yeah.
And if the elections were held tomorrow, you wouldn't vote for Kamala. You just wouldn't vote at all. Yet you have the gall to call into the show and complain about anything.
Let me explain. Do you want me to explain, or are you just going to keep monologuing?
I'm not monologuing.
You said you wish you could control the way people vote, which you being a progressive, I'm not really surprised at that comment.
Okay, so
but it's really just telling.
So first of all, David.
Yeah, by the way, Brian says well, I wish I could control you and how you vote. But meanwhile, remember Brian when he's like, life is short. Life is short. I had family members that died. You've had family members that died. Just let people do whatever they want, man. Just let them be happy. Life is short. Just do whatever you want. As long as you vote the right way.
David,
Yeah.
You don't seem to understand what hyperbole language is. You don't seem to understand.
Hyperbole?
Obviously, there's no way.
I understand a rent control.
David,
things like that.
David,
But
David,
here's-
David,
sure, go ahead.
David.
Yeah.
You don't seem to understand what hyperbole language is. You don't seem
Hyperbole language. Hyperbole.
to understand what that is. Obviously, there's no way.
Well, I understand how rent
Well,
control
David,
works, and it doesn't
David,
work.
David, okay, you can be upset.
Oh, look,
about,
you made a lot of good points about the economy with Trump. I agree with you on that.
It's your fault.
But
You
for
voted
I
for
mean,
him.
We have,
Will you take responsibility? You voted for him. Take responsibility.
oh, look, I agree that he's done a terrible job with the
You
economy.
voted
I
for
didn't
him.
vote for him thinking.
You
Fine,
voted for
fine,
him.
Let me explain. I understand that. I didn't think he. Well, look, the last administration didn't do.
How did he do his first go around? Wait a second. Wait a second. What do you mean you didn't
Sure.
think? In the first go around when he was president, he got us $8.2 trillion in debt. Did you
Sure.
like his handling of COVID? Did he show leadership, David?
No, he did what the
No,
Democrats
then why did you
wanted
vote for
to
him?
do.
No,
Yes,
no,
he
no,
did.
no, no. He didn't do it.
Well, I didn't vote for him in 2020. I told you I didn't. I only voted once.
David, what did the Democrats?
David,
what did the Democrats
David.
force him to do during COVID?
Well, Trump did what they wanted him to do, which is just
David,
Yeah.
David,
ridiculous logic.
Yeah, Trump did what he wanted, and it was damned if he did, damn if he didn't. Remember when he was like, "Yeah, listen, we're not going to allow people from these countries to come over here because of the pandemic, from China. You know, people are going to be coming here from China. There will be an immigration freeze, so no people traveling here from China." And the Democrats were all freaking out. Oh my gosh, how dare Trump does this? That Nancy Pelosi was in Chinatown hugging a Chinese person. It was so stupid. And then so he's like, oh, okay, well, all right, we're gonna lock down the economy. Fine, we're gonna lock it down. All of a sudden it's like, oh well, Trump's the one that locked down the economy, so blame him. It's just anything to blame Trump.
David, what did the
Yeah,
Democrats force him to do?
Well, no, they didn't force him to
Thank
do
you.
anything.
That's the language that you just used, David. So you're wrong. They didn't force him to do anything. It was Donald Trump. You don't want to take responsibility for anything, and neither does Donald Trump. Let me tell you something, David. He left it up to the governors in every state.
Yeah.
He left it up to them. That was the president's decision. He did that. He showed no leadership when it came to
What? So leaving it up to the governors now, that's showing no leadership. That's just, well, that is a leadership decision. Leaving it up to the governors. That's a leadership decision in itself. By the way, so Trump shuts down the economy, right? That's not good leadership then. And then he opens up, well, he leaves it up to the governors whether the governors are going to or open it up or not. And that's still not good leadership. This guy, anything to just say that Trump is at fault.
Donald Trump. Let me tell you something, David. He left it up to the governors in every state. He left it up to them. That was.
Yeah. And if he didn't, Brian would call him a dictator. Exactly.
The president's decision. He did that. He showed no leadership when it came to COVID. None. He turned his press conferences into campaign rallies, and he got us $8.2 trillion in debt. So tell me again what you saw in his first administration where you said he's going to do a better job than Kamala Harris.
Well, because I looked at the Kamala Biden administration for 4 years,
and how was the economy when they left? How was the economy when Biden left office compared to where it is right now?
It was, well, compared to what it is right now.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm trying to explain.
Yeah.
It was marginally better. It is.
No,
worse
it
now,
wasn't marginal. No, you're wrong.
It was
You
not
are
good.
wrong. You are wrong. It wasn't marginally better.
Yeah, it wasn't good under Biden. Why do you think people voted Trump back in, dummy? The whole reason people voted Trump back in was because Biden's economy sucked. Everything sucked while Biden was president. Why do you think Donald Trump got voted back in?
Joe Biden didn't get us in a war. Inflation up 0.6%, the highest it's been in 3 years. The unemployment numbers are up. It wasn't marginally better. It was much better. In fact, when Joe Biden left office, we had one of the best economies in the world coming out of COVID. You don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't marginally better. You're wrong. Just like you were wrong for voting for Donald Trump in 2024. You're wrong. And you didn't see Donald Trump's
You're
first.
leaving out context.
I'm not leaving out context. I'm going by your own words and I'm using it against you. You don't take responsibility for your vote. You wouldn't vote now. You're complicit when it comes to the Democrat Party. You have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to every president before Donald Trump on the left. Obama, Biden, when it comes to the parameters of our economy. No Democrat has gotten us into an ill-advised war. You voted for this guy. Why don't you just admit it and say, I shouldn't have voted for Donald Trump and I was wrong? David, are you capable of saying that?
I'll explain why.
No, I
It
don't
was
want you.
too-
I don't want you to explain
So
why.
you don't-
No, I don't want you to explain why because you're making us all dumber. Yes or no? Will you admit right now and say, yes, I'm David and I shouldn't
Yes,
have
I'm
voted
David.
for Donald Trump and I made a mistake? Are you willing to admit
No,
that right
because-
now? All right, then get off my show then. You're stubborn. You're an idiot. Have a nice day. Ugly effort. Ugly effort. How do you like it? Ugly effort. I know David's so upset that somebody in the Democrat Party called Stephen Miller ugly. David, the ugly effort. Have a nice day. Why won't they admit? Why won't they admit anything?
They can't handle the fact that
You can't handle the fact that they do this. But and then whenever we call out the hypocrisy, then Brian's like, "Oh, he's so upset. He's so upset that they called him an ugly effort." It's like, well, no, it's not that we're necessarily upset. We're upset at the hypocrisy that when someone on the left does something, you guys give it a pass, but when someone on the right does something, you treat it as if it's the worst thing to have ever been said. Yeah, projecting again. Yeah, that was crazy. I really thought he was going to explode that one. He got really angry. And listen, I've seen him get angry plenty of times, but man,
they've made a mistake.
thought his head was going to
And,
explode.
You know, Brian, the thing I noticed when I listened to the callers come in, the ideas and the policies that I would take to Carson City would benefit everybody, not just the people in my District 16, but everybody in Nevada, whether they are Republican, Democrat, MAGA, Independent, Green Party, Libertarian, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
My policies and my ideas would benefit everybody, whether they voted for me or not. And if you have Republicans, or particularly MAGA Republicans, that do not want to have the money to left over to buy groceries or get their car fixed after they have paid their rent, or taken their, or have the money to take their kids to get braces on their teeth.
I was hearing that like there is a rent control places that weren't doing well because so they put rent controls on these apartments, right? And then the tenants eventually start complaining, hey, nothing's getting fixed. And it's like, oh, it's almost as if because the landlord doesn't have any extra money to put into repairs for your apartment. That's one of the things about the rent control. They portray the rent control as just like landlords are becoming millionaires, taking advantage of these rent payers, right? That's how they frame it as. And so then dummies go out there and be like, we need rent control. And then there's rent control. And then the place goes to because there's no extra money there to put in any repairs. Everything about them is emotionally based. Logic doesn't work with them. Yeah. Then what? State mandated prices on groceries. Yeah. And then already I read an article too that in New York, where Mamdani wants to have the government run supermarkets, the competing stores, which I actually said was going to happen a few months ago, the stores that are nearby, the corporate owned stores, they're getting pissed off because it's going to affect them negatively. Because if there's a store there where the prices aren't going to go up no matter how high the demand is, like if they're just going to be cheaper no matter what, how are the other stores going to be able to compete with that? Like they're not. People are going to stop shopping there and they're going to shop at these supermarket stores. And the supermarkets are going to have to start lowering their prices. It's gonna cause a collapse. But none of these people know that. They just want free stuff. They just want free stuff. They want the Gibbs. When control stops new building construction. Yeah, exactly. Rent control also discourages building, which actually raises costs long term. Yeah. Who decided what $100 rent compared to a $10,000 rent is? Rent control is just foundation for corruption in theory. This dude sounds a little feminine. Which one, Brian? Landlords will just flip and they will be converted into homes at a high price, so more low-cost rentals gone. Yeah. Where is he from? Like, what kind of accent is? Why would you say it like that? I have no idea. It's a good question. Yeah, thievery. Yeah, people, these stupid people in New York, they're cheering it. Yeah, government, supermarkets. It's like, guys, you're gonna. This shit doesn't work. There's a reason why this fails in communist countries. Is it okay to rob a leftist as long as they call it privateering? Huh, that's a good question. Marxists left only know how to ruin America. They can't fix anything because they never try. Yeah. Government-controlled supermarkets have failed everywhere they've been tried. Yeah, that's true. The Northeast accent. Cool, Emmett. Cool is amazing. The night is also almost over. Well done. Well, thank you very much, Emmett. Yeah, the night that Emmett is making me, the white knight of the Coolverse, came out or is coming out pretty good. I can't wait for that. Rent control also leads to a huge surplus of demand, so landlords pick the safest renters, which locks low-income people out of renting. That's true. They know how to spend wealth, not create wealth. Yeah. But that's why they want higher taxes. That's why they don't like tax cuts. They want higher taxes, especially for the rich. So that way they just want the rich. They want the rich to take care of everybody. But the rich, they end up like, all Democrats do is just they rob from the middle class to take care of the poor and even the rich. Like, they rob from the middle class to feed themselves and to take care of the poor. The Democrats are like a detriment to the middle class. Ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy that video? I hope you did. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe, or else you're gay. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I'm just trying to save you from sin. Also, make sure you catch the Cool Stream live Mondays through Fridays right here on my YouTube channel. And make sure you follow me at any of these links down below for everything Cool Vic.